Hello, good day, and welcome. I'm Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Think You Can Break In by Antiknight. This has a very intriguing title and sounds like it's a challenge, so I guess challenge accepted. If you would like to try solving this puzzle for yourself, it'll be the first link in the description, and let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, like that, and 3 by 3 box. Digits must not repeat in cells that are a chess knight's move apart. So if this were a 1, then in addition to normal Sudoku, these cells also could not be a 1 because that's the shape that a knight in chess would make. Okay. Every killer cage is correctly clued at the highest leftmost cell. The digits in a cage must sum to the number printed in its corner. Digits may not repeat within a cage. So, the normal way of notating a killer cage is to put the sum in the top left-hand corner of the cell that is the leftmost cell in the top row. I'm presuming that they've worded that in such a way as because that could be important. So, for example, if this were the cage that we discover, but we only uncover this bit from the fog, and we learn that there is not a clue here, then we know that the cage must go to a row higher than that. Or possibly further left. If that was all we discovered, actually possibly something like that, if that's what we had discovered, then it could either go up like this, or it could go up here, and then the clue would be in this cell. Anyway, I guess we'll figure that out when we come to it. But it's also telling us that, yeah, all cages do have a clue. Okay. Adjacent digits along each gem and whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. So let's draw in a line. So if this cell, if this cell were a 3, then this would have to be an 8 or a 9 in order to be at least 5 away from it. Lines and cages do not overlap. The grid is partially covered with fog. Correctly placed digits will clear the fog around that cell. And the idea of these fog puzzles is that you do not have to guess in order to progress. So every deduction that places a digit and clears some fog is a logical deduction. All right, I am now going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Now, these cages are interesting. So because of the combination of Sudoku and Antiknight, when you have a domino of cells and another domino that is 2 steps away from it, they cannot have any common digits. Probably better to look at here because obviously these couldn't have common digits because they're in the same box. But this 6 could be 1, 5 or 2, 4. Now, if it's 1, 5, then the digit that's here can't go here by Sudoku and it can't go there by knight's move. And the digit that's here can't go there by knight's move or there by Sudoku. So if this were 1, 5, it would eliminate 1 and 5 from here, which would mean that this would have to be 2, 4. Sorry, no, 2, 6. Yeah, it couldn't be 17, it couldn't be 35, so it'd have to be 26. Okay, so we've got that there. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9 here. We've got 1, 2, 3, or 4 there. I think we've got more than 2 options for the others, so I'm going to leave the others for now. Okay, these 4 cages are making me think that this cell has something going on. So, this cell, where can it go into this box? It can't go in any of those. Those 3 by Sudoku, those 2 by Knight's Move. Same over here. Can't go to those 3 by Sudoku, those 2 by Knight's Move. Therefore, this purple digit is going to go into one of the cages. Not just that, but if it goes into this cage, then it must go into that cage because it can't go into this one by Sudoku. And conversely, if it goes in this one, it'll go into this one. But let's have a look at that. What digit is this if it goes in both this 6 cage and this 15 cage? They don't have any digits in common, no matter how we figure them out. Therefore, the purple digit is going to be in one of those cages, or both of those cages. Okay. So what? All right. If this is 1, 5, then this can't be 7, 5. So it'd be 8, 4, or 3, 9. So if that's 1, 5, this can't be 1, 7, and it can't be 3, 5. So it'd be 2, 6. That eliminates the 2 from here, which eliminates the 3, so that would be 1, 4. And that would also eliminate the 4, 8 from here. What did we say? This is 1, 5. It's not 5, 7. It's not 4, 8. That would be 3, 9. Okay. If this is 2, 4, then 2, 4 eliminates 4, 8 from here. Okay, so either way, we're not going to have 4, 8 in here. I think reducing it down to 2 options is reasonable to pencil mark. It'll be a little easier to keep track of, I think. So if it's not 4, 8, then it must be either 3, 9 or 5, 7. Okay, well, that doesn't feel like too many options to figure to look at. All right, let's suppose, well, because that's 3, 5, 7, or 9, then that must be the options for my purple digit. So if this were 3, then this would be a 3, 9 pair. The 3 would go into here and be 3, 8. And that doesn't work because the 3, 9 pair eliminates the 9 from here. 3, 8 eliminates 8 from here. This would be 6, 7, which does not add up to 15. So it's not 3. What about the 9? So again, this is 3, 9, but in this case, we're putting the 9 down here instead. So that would be 9 with 2. So that would be 7, 8. 9, 2 eliminates the 2, 4 here. That would be 1, 5. That's 3, 9. That seems to work. I can't see why not right now. Okay, let's have a look at the 5, 7 pair in the 12 then. So if the common digit is a 5, then that's 5, 7 to make 12. This would be 5, 6, and that doesn't work. The 5, 7 eliminates the 7 from here. 5, 6 eliminates the 6 from here, and that'd be 8, 9, which is not 15. So it's not 5. The 7. So that would again be 5, 7 to make the 12. 7 with that would make 7, 4. And that eliminates the 7, 8 from here, so that's 6, 9, which seems good. Except 5, 7 eliminates the 5 from here. 4, 7 eliminates the 4 from 7, and 1 plus 2 is definitely not 6. So it's not 7, so that must be a 9. Yes, that's nice. All right, so that's not 5, 7. That's 3, 9 to go into that box, in that cage. And this is 2, 9 into here. Then that eliminates 2, 4 from here. We eliminate 6, 9 from here. This 3, 9 eliminates 2, 3 from there. And 1, 5, that can't be 7, 1, it can't be 5, 3, so that is 2, 6. And that looks like that fills in all of the cages. And the only extra thing we have here is our gem and whisper line. Okay, let's talk about gem and whispers lines. All right. The first thing is that, so to be clear, I'm just drawing this on for example purposes to remove it away from any of the digits we've already figured out, so that we're concentrating on the line itself and not any of the other digits or pairs that we've placed. All right, can I ever put a 5 on the line? Remember to do the small digit, just in case. All right, we can't put a 5 on the line because what would this digit be? It would have to be 0 or less or 10 or more, none of which are legitimate Sudoku digits. And now we have to alternate between digits lower than 5 and higher than 5. If this were from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this were from 1, 2, 3, and 4, the highest difference between them would be 3, between the 1 and the 4. But we have a minimum difference on the gem and whisper of 5. And likewise, if these were two high digits above 5, the maximum difference would be 3. So we're going to be alternating. So what that means is we can see that this line does that, at least. Yeah, it may go elsewhere, but it does that at least. And I'm now going to color these digits. Let's choose red and green. Okay. Now, if these two digits are high, then this is low, and if these two digits are low, then this is high. Can we do anything to figure that out? Yes, we can. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, let us suppose that these two are low digits. Now we already have a 1 and a 3 in the row, so they would have to be 2 and 4. But the only digit that can go next to a 4, that is at least 5 away from a 4, would be 9. And because one of these two digits is definitely a 4 in this hypothetical case that these red digits are low, that would have to be a 9, but it can't be by Sudoku. So these are not low digits, they must be high digits, and therefore they are from 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So this must be low. That's 1, 2, and 3. It can't be 4 because one of these would have to be a 9. In fact, both of them would have to be a 9. Oh, right. So it can't be a 3 because this would have to be an 8, 9 pair because 6 and 7 can't go next to a 3. So that is not a 3. That's a 1 or a 2. All right. Okay, that's quite clever. In fact, that's very clever. Okay, where does 2 go in this column? It can't go here because there's a 2 here, and it can't go here because there's a 2 in this box. So it goes into one of these 3. Now, where does 2 go in this row? It can't go here because of these 2's looking up or because the 2's in the box. Can't go here or here because they're high digits. So it must go here or here. Let's give that a color for illustrative purposes. Now, this cell sees both of these 2, one by Sudoku, one by Knight's Move. But we know that 2 is in one of these 2 cells. So that can't be a 2, that must be a 1. All right. Okay. I think for the moment, because I want to do some more coloring of something else, I can always recolor them if I have to, but I think I'm going to remove the coloring I've got for right now. All right. This 10 cage, let's mark that in yellow. All right. It is at least those 3 cells. We can tell from the way there's no dashed line here that it extends into this cell here. But a 10 cage can be 3 digits or 4 digits. So if it's 4 digits, it can't go up into this cell because there wouldn't be the dashed line here. So if it's 4 digits, it either goes there or there. Let's have a look at that. So a 10 cage can't be 5 digits because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the smallest you can put digits into 5 cells when they can't repeat, and in killer cages they can't repeat. So that would mean that that would be a total of 15. So 10 is the maximum, and that requires 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sorry, 4 cells is the maximum for a 10 cage, and that requires 1, 2, 3, and 4. But all 4 of these cells see that 1 by Sudoku, so it doesn't go there. And if that were in the 10 cage, those 3 cells see the 1 by Sudoku, that one sees it by Knight's Move. So again, I can't put 1, 2, 3, 4 into a 4-cell 10 cage like that. Therefore, this is the 10 cage, and the only way to do that is 2, 3, and 5 in 3 cells. That's not a 2. Right. Remember we said that one of those 2 cells was a 2. That cell sees both of these 2 cells. So that is not 2, and that is. Okay. is some good progress, I think, but now where to look next? Okay, that's not 3 or 5 or 1, 2, 4 or 6. That is 7, 8 or 9. Yeah, so because it sees both of these and we know they're different, this cannot be 3 or 5. And then from the row, 1, 2, 4 and 6 are also taken out. So that's 7, 8 or 9. So I think places where 3 and 5 are seen, okay, that's a really nice spot because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, just like this one does, but it also sees 9. So that is 7 or 8. And that is quite pretty because let's have a look at these 3 cells. In fact, I'm going to color them differently. Hot pink, there we go. In fact, I can probably remove that for now because we figured out the 10 cage. Now, this green cell sees both of these by knight's move. This purple cell sees that by knight's move and that by Sudoku. The pink cell sees that by Sudoku and that by knight's move. And therefore, these 3 cells are all different. So that places 6 into one of those 2. Okay. That cell sees 6, 7, and 8 because it sees all 3 of these colored cells. And it sees 1, 5, 3, and 9. So that must be 2 or 4. And this cell sees 1, 5, 3, and 9. And it sees 6 in the row, and it sees 7, 8 from the 15 cage. So that is also 2 or 4. So this is now 6, 7, or 8, except it can't be 6 because we know that one of those 2 is 6. So that's now 7 or 8. And that is the green digit because it sees the purple and the pink. This digit is looking under pressure. Okay, it sees 1 and 2. It sees both of the 3, 5 pair. So that could be, it's not 1 or 2, it's not 3, it could be 4, it's not 5. It sees the 6, 7, 8 triple because it sees the pink one by knight's move, and it sees 9 by knight's move, so that's a 4. That is a naked single 4. Wow. All right, and we have a more German whisper. Okay, this is a high digit. It's above 5. So this must be a low digit from 1, 2, 3, and 4. It can't be 1 or 2, so it's 3 or 4. But it can't be a 4 for 2 reasons. 1, it's a knight's move away from a 4, and 2, if this were a 4, this would have to be a 9. So this must be a 3. And 7 is too close to a 3, so that must be an 8. Okay, that removes 8 from those. That becomes an 8. That's not an 8. Okay. Those can't be 3 by Sudoku, and that is not a 3 by Knight's Move. But curiously, those are not a 1 by Knight's Move or a 1 by Sudoku. So 1 and 3 can only go into those two cells. That's a 1-3 pair. That makes this a 4-5-6 triple. All right. That's not 5 because that's in the box. So this is 4, 6, or 7. Not 5. That's a 4. There we go. That's better. And 7 is definitely there. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay. So what do we have left in the box? We have 4 cells, which are 2, 4, 5 cells. 1, 2, 3. No, 4 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 8's in one of those two. That can't be a 2. So 2 is in one of those two. Oh, that can't be a 6 because there's a 6 in one of these two. Okay, so it's 2, 4, 5, and 8. 2, 4, 5, 8. That's not a 2. And that sees both that digit and that digit by nice move or Sudoku, so that's not a 5. Maybe I'll remove the corner marks. That one's not a 4. Okay. Okay, 6 is in one of these three, so it's in one of those two. That means it can't be there, so it's in one of those two. Does that help? Not sure. Okay. If that's 4, then what? Then one of those two is 4. That's not really helping very much. If that's 4, then that's 6. One of those two is 4. That makes that a 4. That makes that 4. Obviously that's already a 4. That makes one of those two 4. One of those two would be 4. So one of those two would be 4, because that one can't be. One of those two would be a 4. One of those three would be a 4. Not seeing anything obviously wrong with that. Maybe it's not 4s then. What about 2s? All right, if this is 2, then that's 4 and that's 2. That's not 2, that is. And that is. That eliminates that. We can see that that's a 2. So one of those two is a 2. One of those 3 is a 2. One of those two is a 2. And there's a ton of options over here. All right, hang on. That eliminates that one from being a 2. So that would make one of those two a 2. Wait, hang on a minute. I can't have this pattern. The 2's there would eliminate both of those 2's. So that doesn't work. Is that right? Let me just do that again. If this is 2, then that eliminates, right, yeah, that's 2, and that's a definite 2, that's our hypothetical 2. That 2, those two between them means that those are 2, but that one means that that is not. And then we already know that those 3 are from 2, but that would not be. So one of those 2 is. And if one of those 2 is, then those 2 can't be. All right, that's not a 2. That's a 2. That's a 4. All right. That was a good guess. Well, not guess, good deduction. All right, this can't be a 5 because of what we know from German whispers. So it's a 4 or a 6. Now, 4 can only go next to 9, and 6 can only go next to 1. So if this is 4, this is 9, but it can't be a 9. And in fact, it can't be a 4 because there's a 4 in the box. That's a 6. That can only go next to 1. That makes this 4. These two digits are 5 and 2. So if they're 2 and 5, that's not a 5. So that's an 8, which makes that 4, makes that 5. Okay. Where to look next? Right, there's an 8 in one of those three. There is a 4 in one of those two. By Sudoku and nice move. Ah, that 4 is looking up there. That's a 1. That's a 4. We now have 1 and 4 up in there, but that one's not a 4. Um, okay. Where to look next? Right, there's a 2 down here. And I know that one of these two is going to be a 2. Because if neither of those were a 2, then this 2 would knock out both of those 2s. And this 2 would knock out both of those 2. So one of those is a 2. Where does 2 go in this column? I've just seen. That's not a 2. In fact, 2 is in one of those 2 cells. So 2 is in one of these 3, but because we know that one of those is a 2, that one isn't. Okay, so that not being a 2 feels like it could be restricted. It's not 1, 2. It could be 3, I think. Yes, it doesn't see both of those. It doesn't see that one. So it could be 3. Can't be 4. Could be 5. Can't be 6. Could be 7. Can't be 8. Could be 9. Okay, that wasn't as fruitful as I would have hoped. All right, these to complete the row are 3, 5, 7, and 9. Any of those I can do anything with. That's not a 3. Right, this cell sees both 3s and 5s. So it's not 1, could be 2, it's not 3, 4, or 5, it's not 6, but it could be 7, 8, or 9. Right, there's somewhere else I need to be looking clearly. Right, there's a 4 in one of those 3. Um, 8's got 8 there. 8's not very restricted in that cage, in that box. Okay, 5 is not in either of those two. But that could be. That's not super helpful. All right, what's going on in this column then? I need, I've got 1, 2, I could have 3, 4, 5, I've got 6, 7, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Ah, okay, in this row, 3 is in one of those two. So that's not a 3. So that places 3 down here. But that's not a 3 because of this 1, 3 pair. So one of those two is a 3. That's not 4. So that's only 6 or 7. All right. Why can I not see? Right, 6 is not in there. It's not there, and it's not there. Ah, that's 6. Makes that 7. That makes that 6. Okay, so that's not 6. That 6 sees that. That's 7. That's 6. That 7 sees that 9. So those are not 9s. That 6 sees that, and that's a 6 there. So now 6 is in one of those 3. Seven is not in any of those 3. So that means the 7 in the row must be over here, which makes that a 6, 7 pair. So that's not 7, and nor is that. That's a 3, 5 pair now. So this is a 2, 8 pair. That places 8 in those 3. In fact, this is 2, 8, and 7. That's 2, 7, 8. We know that one of those is going to be an 8. Okay, that's not a 9. That's not a 9. So 9 is in one of those two. That digit is going to be the same as that digit. Which then goes into one of those three. Feel like we are almost there. All right, these three digits are from 3, 5, 9, and 3, 5, 9, and 8. Ah, that can't be an 8, that can't be an 8. That's an 8. That's not a 3. Nope, just that one. Okay. So that places 8 in one of those three, but I know that one of those is going to be an 8, or I'll get my nice smooth Sudoku problem here, so that's not an 8. This 2 makes that 9, and that 2, that means that's not a 9, and that is. That's not a 9 or an 8. Not quite. Wait, what did I do? I must have had some cells highlighted that shouldn't have been highlighted when I was adding digits, but that's quickly rectified. All right, so 9 is in one of those three, but not that one. So one of those two is a 9. That 9 sees that cell. So that's 9. That's now 6. And this is 3, 5, or 7. Okay. That 2 means that that is not a 2, but we knew that there must be a 2 there somewhere, so that's a 2. Okay, that's not a 3 by Sudoku. That's not a 3 because, oh no, there's 3 3s in that box. Never mind. I feel like this is close, but I just can't quite see it yet. Right, 4 is not in those. Oh, 4 is not in those, that one or that one. No, don't think that's good enough. 2 is one of those two. All right, that's not a 2. So that digit is the same as that digit. Which would be one of these two. Okay, this 9 sees both of those cells, and this 9 sees those, so that's a 9. This is 1, 3, 5, or 7. But it's not a 3, so that's 1, 5, or 7. In fact, it's not a 1 either, because that sees both of those. So that's a 5 or 7. So now we have a 3, 5, 7 triple. That's a 1. That's a 3. That makes that 5. That's 3. That's 5. That's not 5, and nor is that. So that makes that 7. That's 3. That's 7. That's 5, 1, and 5. These are 1, 4, and 3, and that's not a 3 by Sudoku. That's not a 3 by Knight's Move, so that's the 3, 4, and 1. Okay. These 3 digits are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. We already know that that's not an 8. That's not a 7 or a 4, that's an 8. That's a 4, 7 pair. These are 1, 3, 9. That one's not a 9 by Knight's Move. That's not a 1 by Knight's Move. That's not a 3 by Knight's Move, so that's the 9. These are 2, 5, 6. Yep, 2, 5, 6. That's not a 5. That's not a 2. Right, none of those are 6s. So 3, 4, 7. That's not 4. This is 8, 1, and oh, that's a 5. Okay, 8, 1, 6. That's not a 1. That's not a 6. Okay, there's a 1 there and a 1 there. So the 1 in this row must go here. What does that do for me? Ah, there's 7. It peeks into there. That's 6. That's 7. That makes that 8 and 7. That gives us 8 and 2 up there, which is also 5 and 2 here. This 3 is looking at that. So that's a 9 and that's a 3. These 2 digits are 3 and 6. which amazingly appear not to be resolved. So these 3 digits are 4, 5, 9. That one's not a 5 or a 9, so that's a 4. The, that's not an 8, and nor is that. That's a 6. That's the only place with 3 in the row. That's 6 makes that 2, and that's 7. So that's 8, and that's 2, 1, and 8. That's not a 2. That there is a 6 because it sees the 5 by knight's move. So that's 5 there. That makes this 5 and 9 and 6 and 3. 1 and 3. That gives us a 4-7 pair. Deadly pattern, and now I just have to see what is seeing into it. And it's this 7 here. That makes that 4, 7, 4, and 7. Wow. Congratulations, you have successfully broken in and finished the puzzle. That is a really, really nice puzzle. Let's remove those and clean up that. Yeah, no, I really, really like that puzzle. The break-in was really nice, and then subtle things. I liked that this was a naked single, and that this reduced to 7 or 8, making a triple. I think the toughest part was the potential 2 here, which would have resulted in a broken knight's move pairs here. Yeah, no, that's really, really nice puzzle. I really enjoyed it. And thank you very much to Antiknight for creating it. If you liked this solve, then please hit the like button, subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.